coherence, consistency, livability. 3 powerful tests for truth. Or if we're going to use the more philosophical language, we might talk about the way that we need to ask questions at an intellectual level, at an existential level, and a pragmatic level. Particularly that last one, the livability test, I think is one of the most profound questions we can be pushing our friends on who are not Christians and saying, is your worldview livable? Particularly our atheist friends. You see, atheists of a different generation, earlier generations to the new atheists writing today, were more honest in recognizing there was a problem. Bertrand Russell, leading atheist of a generation or two ago, reflecting on the implications of his atheism, wrote this. He said, "Only on the firm foundation of unyielding despair can the soul's habitation henceforth be safely built." Cheerful stuff. And another British atheist, I do apologize, we specialize in 2 things in the UK, exporting financial chaos and atheism. But there we are. Very honest quotation there from Bertrand Russell, but you see, most atheists today I meet have embraced what I call the Pollyanna version of atheism. They think they can deny God, they think they can reject Christianity, and they can keep things like morality, like purpose, and like meaning. A few even today recognize there is a deeper problem. A few months ago, I was out in Winnipeg, and I met a young man who was a musician in the city orchestra there. And he shared with me an interesting conversation and asked me a fascinating question. He said, "I have recently begun sharing my faith with an atheist in the orchestra where I play." Now, he said, "My atheist friend was a bit hostile at first." So I went, "Yes, that can happen." But he went, "Actually, we formed a friendship. And we began going quite deeply into things." They'd become friends, and his atheist friend had begun reading quite deeply into atheism. And then what had happened is the Christian had begun to press his new friend on the basis of his life, on the livability test, the basis of his beliefs, of his art, and of his music, and his hope. Something happened. And this Christian musician looked me in the eye and he said, "I feel guilty, Andy." He said, "I feel guilty because something has happened." "What's happened?" I said, "Well, my atheist friend," he said, "has abandoned music. He has concluded his atheism gives him no basis for his art and his music, and he literally can't play. He finds himself unable to play. What on earth have I done?" This Christian asked me. "How can I help him?" It's the most unusual question I've had in a long time, and I thought before replying, and then I gave him this answer. I said, "Have you tried suggesting to your friend that if he knows in his heart, if he knows deep down inside himself, and knows and feels in his soul that his art and his music is true, that there are such things as beauty and meaning and aesthetics, and if there is a joy to be found there, and if his atheism cannot explain it, then maybe the problem is not the art or the music, maybe the problem is the atheism. In other words, if your worldview can't explain the world properly, don't reject the world, get a new worldview."